Hey everybody, we are back and we have the most fun and interesting anatomy teacher out there, Lissa Michalak. You are going to freaking love her, and I promise you, you have never had a better time learning about your body. So, we've all been told that we should sit up straight, that we should stand straight, and keep your head up nice and tall. I'm sure our moms have said that. Mine said that repeatedly. So Lissa's going to give us some really good reasons why we should do that and why we should follow that really old, age-old advice and pay attention to our posture. So I would love to start out just diving right into it, Lissa. Just what is, yeah, just like what is it about posture that can help us relieve pain and not only, look amazing, but relieve pain and what are some of the things that we get wrong about it? So please drop some wisdom.
Okay, I'm channeling a big old download of wisdom right here. So I'm sitting here trying to be really quiet and really polite when you're talking about sitting up straight, everybody standing up straight, because usually what people think of as sitting up straight and standing up straight is actually the single thing that's going to give you the most back pain.
What?
It drives me a little bit nuts. Right. So I'm going to turn sideways here.
Okay.
I'm going to change my camera angle because I do the fancy computer work. I do fancy. Okay. Yeah. So usually I'm sitting up straight, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm totally sitting up straight. My chest is lifted. I'm strong. I'm ready to face the world. My heart chakra is open. Bring it on, universe. Right?
Of course.
The heart chakra has a back as well as a front, my friends.
What? I never look at that part.
Right. So when you open up from the front, I am closing everything off in back, which means that I'm going to stand up here so you guys can see what's happening to the rest of my body as I lift my chest.
Fancy.
I'm super fancy, man. Zoom out, zoom in. So watch what happens to my low back right here when I lift my chest.
Oh.
I get this big curve in my low back.
Yep.
So, as a person who has had mega, unbelievable slip disc issues, people talk about the intervertebral discs being like jelly donuts.
Yeah.
Well, the jelly was out of the donut, floating around, causing trouble, messing with the sciatic nerve, all the things. It sucked.
Oh, Lord.
It sucked so bad, and nobody was having any fun. But the biggest thing that I've learned is that instead of sitting up straight like this, you recognize that you have a back and that you have a front.
So much more aligned, yeah.
Yeah, you might notice that I have a lot of support today. Different days require different amounts of support.
Yeah.
So instead of being up forward, now I'm just going to take my hand here. Do it with me, because I'll bet you money, Kelly, that you are raising your chest as well.
Oh, I'm sure, because I am a very tall sitter.
Mm-hmm. So put your hand on your chest and just let your chest relax down away from your hand.
Oh.
And feel how suddenly all the weight is sitting down in your sits bones and not sitting up in your chest where your entire body has to be like, okay, I got this. I still got this. Man, this is hard. I'm so tired, but I got this.
It feels better immediately, and I'm still sitting up straight.
Yeah, in fact, you're sitting up straighter.
Oh my gosh.
So if you think about, I like to call this hand anatomy. So here's my rib cage, here's my pelvis. So when I'm sitting up straight,
right,
my chest lifted, this happens. Here's my back, it's all crunched up and sad. Here's my front. By the way, my belly is pooching out.
Yeah.
Just
enough, right?
Just want to mention that because some of us care rather a lot.
Yes.
When I bring my chest down, I'm balanced.
I bet everyone watching this is doing it too, because I can't help myself but try it.
I sure hope so.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so when you can bring your chest down and release, you can let your pelvis swing back into a neutral position. You don't even have to think about the pelvis. And This is why this is my magic bullet for pretty much everything, because I'm going to go stand up and I want to take one more look at the whole chain.
Yeah.
Watch what's happening to my knees.
Oh.
Do you have knee pain? Chest goes up. And my knees just hyperextended.
Out, yeah.
Chest comes down.
And you're putting your weight where it should be in your feet.
Yep. The weight's down here. I don't have to lift it up to the top. And everything is balanced and works properly the way it's supposed to.
I mean, that's amazing from just a small change. And, sure, it's going to take practice, just like your traditional version of sitting up and standing straight took practice. But
every day.
I'm someone who has back pain and neck pain. I mean, it's from cheerleading. It's not from life necessarily, but,
Well, maybe it's from lifting your chest.
It might be. But,
Because cheerleading, like, I'm a dancer. I've worked with a lot of dancers. We never get off stage.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, my gosh. I mean, I already feel better.
Yeah.
Summit over.
Right? Drop the mic. Let the out.
That's incredible. So is that the most common thing you see with people as a problem?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because like a lot of people will come to me with neck pain, with back pain, with shoulder pain, with knee pain, with foot pain. You release the chest and you can see how I lift the chest, the neck, the shoulder, the head, the feet, the ankles, everything goes out of whack. I release the chest, everything goes back into whack.
Well, it's amazing. Like you hear about and and you understand the kinetic chain and everything's connected, but when you can actually feel it and watch you do it and then actually feel it in yourself, I mean, it's compelling to think about how you can make that easy change.
Exactly. And it's, again, it's easy, it's simple, it's straightforward. The complicated part, of course, comes in remembering to maintain it.
Yeah.
And usually what happens with most people, again, I'm going to go sideways, when you lift your chest. So boom, here I am, as balanced as I can get right now.
Yeah.
Cool. If I'm going to lift my chest, because I was told to stand up straight, so I'm going to stand up straight. If I keep my head and my shoulders in the same position, I can't function. So I'm going to bring my head forward. Then I'm going to bring my shoulders forward, and now I can do stuff, right?
Right, yeah.
So when I bring my chest down, so my chest is balanced, and now my head is forward, my shoulders are forward, and now I've got forward head, forward shoulders. And which all personal trainers are like, no, we can't do that. Quicker to do your rows, do your head retractions, which actually is a great idea, as long as you can keep the chest down. Because usually the first thing people do when they do rows.
Oh, yeah. Because then you can really feel it.
Yeah, I had to totally argue with a client yesterday about like, no, stop.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, it's getting the peripherals sometimes that can be complicated. Is that, okay, you've got the base and everything feels better and that's fabulous, but then you feel like a monkey. You're like,
right.
Partly it's because the way our body works is everything we feel on a geometric scale, essentially. So I really hope that's the right term. So potentially, like, what we feel exponentially larger than it actually is.
Right.
So instead of just being linear, like, oh, I've moved my arm 1 inch, and it feels like I've moved my arm 1 inch. Cool. It's, I've moved my shoulder blade 0.5 centimeter, and it feels like I've just moved it 5 miles.
Yeah. Sounds very familiar.
Yeah. So it's how you can get these like micro changes in your body. Like we work with people who are like, okay, we're going to bring C1 back. We're going to like change the way you interact with your pelvis. And people are like, can I really feel that? It's like, you could be moving 1 micrometer. It's going to feel like 3 inches.
Oh yeah. We're very in tune with our bodies. And even if you don't think you are, you're very in tune with it.
Exactly. And quite honestly, a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to block out their bodies, especially when it hurts.
Yes. Yes.
It's really frustrating to me because we have things like this, like release the chest, put your weight, like let your weight go down to the ground that can support your weight. Let your weight be supported. And it's so
simple
hard for us. Yeah, it's so hard for us to remember. And it's, I do this for a living. I do this all the time. Like, I do this online. I do this in person. I do this all over the place. And I still catch myself lifting my chin all the time. I get stressed out. I know there are certain movement patterns I can use to de-stress myself. I'm like, no, I don't have that 5 minutes to de-stress myself. Like, really, Lissa, listen to yourself.
Well, now I need to know what some of those patterns are. Now I'm like, really?
Okay.
Can anybody here identify with that?
Does anybody get stressed? So here's the thing: is that what I do, like, I'm a somatic movement therapist, and the whole thing with somatics is there is no difference between the mind and the body.
Yeah.
So while I'm more of the physical therapist than the psychotherapist, there's a whole thing called somatic experiencing. Not me. It's not what I am not going to help you sort your trauma.
Sorry.
I help you. I know, but I am going to help you sort your body, which may possibly help you sort your trauma, but I'm going to refer you to somebody else.
Yes.
Scope of practice, my friend, scope of practice.
Exactly.
But when you go to the body, it's amazing how many things you can sort out. So if your chest is nice and relaxed and your weight is down on your sits bones, because, hey, we're already talking about that, I'm going to ask you, make a little dome with your hands here. Yes. You're going to take that dome, you're going to put it right here at the base of your rib cage. And as you inhale, you're going to flatten your dome. And as you exhale, you're going to let it rise. If you just feel how the energy has changed just with that one breath.
Yeah.
Inhaling and exhaling. If you're doing this along with us at home,
which I'm sure you are.
Yeah, better be, because, hey, it's only a few seconds here.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're literally following the motion of the diaphragm. When you get into, again, you get out of your head and into your body. So, like, okay, what's my diaphragm doing? Literally, when I inhale, it goes down, it pulls air into my lungs. When I exhale, it relaxes up and lets the air press out. Yeah. So when you follow the diaphragm, one, it's very deep. If I kind of, all right, this is really hard to do while talking. If I kind of tuck my fingers underneath my rib cage, I would feel the edge of my diaphragm. And every time I breathe, my fingers get pushed out because my diaphragm is down. But when I come in contact with my diaphragm, one, I'm beginning to come in contact with a different part of my nervous system. We tend to live a lot in the autonomic, the fight or flight reflex part of the autonomic nervous system. And, I live in New York City. We are always like, I got everything. Like 50 million people around me. There's like cars and buses and construction, and I got this. Yeah. But it does mean that you're up here a lot. We work, we have families, we have kids, we juggle all these things. We live up here. When we come down here, we're coming down and we're shifting into that parasympathetic, into that rest and digest system.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you can, that change that we felt when we started to breathe, that is your body essentially switching tracks. Like, I'll go. But the more that I take those deep breaths, and this is what people are talking about when they say take deep breaths to calm down.
Yeah, not so open your chest.
Okay, I'm going to calm down now. Yeah. No, it's okay. Here I am. I'm in contact with my body. Sometimes you just press. The more stressed out you are, the more you need that connect with your body. Press in. Inhale. I like the double hands.
Yeah, that's it. It's a little more connected that way. You can really get into it more.
You're literally completing the circuit.
Yeah.
Think about the bones.
Yeah.
So when you do that again, you can just feel it. Now it's kind of hard for me to demonstrate that, like, super go because, like, all right, I'm here, I'm balanced, I'm good, I'm awake.
Yeah.
But I don't need to panic.
And we can all do that at our desks, or, you can do the one-hander if you're sitting in traffic. And which I'm in DC. That's where we live, traffic.
Oh, yeah. I'm from DC. I feel you.
Oh, so you understand, yes.
Oh, the Beltway.
Oh.
Oh, the Beltway. Yeah.
That's
like I said,
very manageable.
Yeah, just one simple thing. You start getting, and there's a whole bunch of other things going on too. Like when you breathe, you're moving your internal organs. You're starting to get out of that, muscular nervous system make things happen mode, and the internal organ. Like, okay, relax, rest, digest, breathe, and be. So it's an entirely different, it's a different set of body systems. It's a different mindset. And again, it's literally, you're kind of going to a different place in your body.
Yeah.
So this right here, this is your tool. This is your best tool. It's where you live.
And there's no excuse for not doing that. And if you don't want to use your hands, if you're a good visualizer, if you're sitting in a meeting, don't be weird.
Right.
But you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, just picture your diaphragm. It helps to do it with your hands a few times just so you can comprehend it from the mental side. And honestly, sometimes for me, it helps to have like this feedback behind me. Like, okay, I'm breathing back into this pillow here. And that really helps me kick into the back half of my diaphragm.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I care about that, and you should care too, is because that's where the most lung tissue is.
Huh.
It's where the most lung tissue is and the most diaphragm muscle. So when I take my hands,
I had to try it.
When I put my hands back here on the base of my rib cage, then like I basically got a lung. Like I got 2 handfuls of lung right there. and you can feel it when you inhale. Like try, just put your hands on your back, base the rib cage, and just inhale back into your hands.
Yep. Yeah.
All that air, and it moves, and it's awesome.
That's incredible. So speaking of things that you're using in your chair to keep you nice and grounded, same here. What would you recommend for those who are, our desk monkeys out there? Because I mean, it's hard to sit, 8 plus. Let's be honest, 8+ hours a day, and not completely destroy your body. What do you suggest with props to make it more comfortable, with the ergonomics, or breaks during the day? What should we do?
One of the things I do is I have my watch has a little inactivity monitor. Nice. So every hour, more or less, it's like, is it time to move? Like, I hate you so much, and fine, I'm gonna get up and move. I have the luxury of having some space, my exercise ball, so I'll just like get up, and sometimes I'm just literally just dancing around like a lunatic for 30 seconds. But it works. It feels good. It gets my blood flowing. Like, hey, I've gotten up and I've moved. That's great.
Yeah.
Even the other trick is drink a heck of a lot of water.
Good trick. You got to get up then, or else you get a disaster.
You have to go up to pee.
You have a disaster if you don't get up.
You walk down the hall to the bathroom, and if you're really feeling hardcore and you want to be private, you can close the door to the stall and you can do some squats.
Hey, nobody has to know.
Right? Like just your secret, like, okay, do. And then you get up on your back, it's like, I had exercise and nobody knows. I've got a secret.
And now you can sit even longer.
Well, you can sit until your next pee break comes.
Yes.
Or some people set alarms and reminders on their computer. Some people, have the watch that tells you when it's time to get off your ass. I'm sorry, can I say ass?
Okay. You can. Ass.
There we go. Or you just need to get up and pee. Just something like that, just to keep you moving. And that is a great thing. What I like to do, like I said, some days I need the extra thing back here, but normally what I've got is, let's see, I'm going to, again, my camera skills right here. I have this, it's a mini bolster. It's a mini yoga bolster, actually, that I put right down here. And when I release my chest, it supports my pelvis right in a good neutral position. When my pelvis is neutral position, it's really easy for me to sit up with no support pretty much all day, because my base is stable and my weight is down there. So up here, there's not a lot of weight anymore. I'm not lifting. I'm not trying to hold it.
That's what I have too. It's a game changer.
Oh my God.
Now, what about those of us with little short legs? Because any chair I sit in, I'm 5 feet tall, and pretty much nothing adult size is made for me. How do we keep from? How do we keep from getting out of alignment when our legs don't really reach the ground, and chairs are longer in the seat than my thighs are?
Well, that's where this comes in handy, like having something back here. And again, like I said, today I just took a little pillow off my couch and I'm giving myself some mid-back support as well. And this, like, man, I could sit here all day, except that I'm probably going to need to get up and pee.
Exactly. You got to use your own trick.
So that's one thing, is having something between you and the back of the chair so that you can stay organized.
Yeah.
And Kelly, it sounds like you're already on it. And the rest of y'all who are watching, you can, again, sort that out. I was actually, because I do these online sessions, sometimes people will literally take me to their office. It's hilarious. So like set up your phone and point it at your workstation. And I'll be like, okay, your monitor needs to be about 3 inches higher, or okay, it's actually too high, bring it down. Get closer, get farther away. And what she has one of those big, you remember when dictionaries used to be paper?
What? Were we alive then?
Back in the days when I was young.
What? I'm only 21.
Well, back in the days when I was young whippersnapper. So she just has this big, ginormous paper dictionary that actually turns out to be the right height, because you want your legs more or less parallel to the ground, or maybe slightly pointing down.
Yeah.
So like you can get a couple of yoga blocks, enough yoga blocks, as long as your feet can be flat on them.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Otherwise,
doable. That's doable. Everybody can find some old stuff. I mean, shoot, go to Goodwill or
God, right?
You can find
dictionaries.
Yeah, you can find anything there, even dictionaries. What?
Right, that's because great. If your legs are too far, like if the angle of your thighs is too low, what you're going to do is it's going to tip your pelvis forward, which again puts that super big curve in your low back and encourages you to lift your chest, and then we're just back into that cycle, and that's no fun.
Yeah, exactly. Now, how about for those who are like the opposite, people who are on their feet all day, like teachers, anybody with a job that's, servers, where it's not
lift
sedentary.
Your chest, right? Don't lift your chest. Yeah. Especially if you're a server or you have to carry small kids around in one arm and the other, or both arms, depending on how wiggly your kids are or how old they are.
Yeah.
You still need to keep the chest released, because again, when you're sitting, you're going to drop the weight into your sits bones. When you're standing, you're going to drop the weight into your feet. And remember, when I was standing, my chest was lifted. My chest is literally forward and my hips are backwards, so that instead of being stacked up so that the weight goes straight down, now guess what's right in the middle? That's your lower back, my friends. Yeah. 80% of Americans have had or will have low back pain at some point in their lives. And frankly, that sounds low to me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we've all had that at some point.
Like 90 to 100%.
Yes.
Just saying.
Now, is there a way through exercise to strengthen some of these muscles so that you can more naturally have that proper posture?
Yes, and this is the hard part. And when people take me to the gym, this is the part they hate. Whether it's live or online. Yeah. Because you have to keep the chest released while you're exercising.
Oh, that's hard.
It sucks. It's really, really hard, especially when lunges are the worst. Like, lunges are so easy to get out of position on. They're great exercise. So functional, beautiful, but it's like the pelvis gets wonky, the knees, the ankles, the hips, the shoulders, everything goes all over the place, and it's crazy. So
those get wild. Unlike a squat where you can kind of control it, lunges get wild.
Lunges do get wild. But again, it's an extremely practical, extremely functional move. So it's something that we should all be doing. Just saying.
Yeah.
But if you can keep your chest down and your spine organized while you're doing everything else, one, that's the real challenge. Two, it's going to strengthen all the muscles that keep the chest down and keep your body organized. Three, you're going to be getting a super bonus core workout that you didn't even know you were missing out on because you were using it.
Surprise.
4, you're going to injure yourself less. 5, you're actually be working the muscles you're trying to work. I mean, there's just endless benefits. I could keep going, but
for those who are gym rats who have been doing this a long time, me too. It might be a surprise. You might suddenly have to go body weight only or go back to the basics, and don't be afraid to do that. It doesn't mean you aren't strong, but that alignment is so important. Back when I used to work at a big box gym as a personal trainer, you would
Mm-hmm.
see crazy stuff with people, lifting too much weight, terrible, terrible form.
Oh, the
And
guys who think they bench press while arching their backs.
ooh, it makes me
I'm
hurt
like,
thinking about
will
it.
you please stop that? Will you bust a disc? Here's my card.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to take one to many steps back in the amount of weight, the amount of reps, because what Lissa's saying is key to not only not hurting, but not hurting yourself while doing things and eventually doing more weight. So,
Right.
yeah.
Because you, like, hell, you want to be still training when you're 80, 85, 90,
Yeah,
right? So,
totally.
so if you're training for the marathon, don't blow it all in the sprint.
Right, exactly.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, this is something, and I mean, honestly, I know that this is hard because it's hard for me. I've been a personal trainer for, okay, really terrifying long amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm NASM trained, National Academy of Sports
Yeah.
Medicine. We're big into periodization, which
Yes.
helps. Because
Yes.
like, okay, great, we're gonna do the power section. Okay, now we're gonna do the max strength. Okay, and now we're gonna go all the way back to stability and endurance.
Oh, everybody hates that. Nobody wants to go back to that.
Right.
That's
On the other hand, one, stability and endurance is your hardcore core work.
Mm-hmm. Which
Two,
people hate.
which people hate because it's hard.
Yeah.
And as a personal trainer, I'm gonna tell you yet again, if it's hard, you need to do it.
Yeah, anytime a client would complain, I was like, all right, I'm going to make a little note beside that on my plan.
Do that more.
Yeah.
Great. Because if it's easy, your body knows how to do it already. You don't need me telling you how to do it.
Exactly.
If it's hard, yeah, one, your body desperately needs to understand this pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And two, you kind of need somebody looking from the outside because your body's like, can we cheat yet?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you need somebody to say, no, sorry, you can't cheat because this is, eat your vegetables. This is
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
Eat your veg. Eat your veg, do your workout. Make sure it's good. But
it's so simple.
I've been a personal trainer. I've been a Pilates instructor. I've been a Pilates teacher trainer, for the love of God. I teach instructors anatomy and like how to teach their clients. And I got to go back to the stability endurance training every so often and be like, okay, drop your chest, lower your weight, 20 effing reps. Let's do it.
It stinks, but even those of us who are professionals, we do it. And you learn something valuable each time that you go back to those basics, whether it's learning how to sit correctly and stand correctly, or to do your workout with proper alignment and, get back in touch with that stability. It's so necessary. And it feels like you're stepping backwards, but you're really not.
And stabilizing always helps. When I'm done with the stabilizing period, like, I feel solid.
Yeah, you feel like you can do anything. You feel kind of superhuman.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just like, oh, my biceps is really big. I've worked my brachialis muscle until my arms look really good. Yeah. It's everything around it because I've had to work in that multi-planar environment. So it's like, it's not just like bump, bump, bump. It's like, I'm solid. I'm solid muscle. And now I'm going to go lift some big weights.
Right. And, that's, I'm not surprised to hear that you are a Pilates instructor, especially with, what you do. I mean, Pilates is all about alignment. And if those out there have not tried Pilates, you don't need to go do it on a machine. You can do it on a mat. There's, it's not as complicated as it looks. And it might be a great start for you to get that foundation.
It's so good for the core. Like that's one of those things that like really brings everything into the center. Like a good Pilates instructor will teach you how to come into your center, into your midline, organize your body.
Yes.
Get out there and kick some behinds. Yeah. Yes. And then everything else, it's a great thing to balance out the rest of your workout too.
Absolutely.
Because while Pilates doesn't necessarily build big arm and leg strength, it builds, again, solid internal core strength.
Right. Which is your foundation to be able to do. Now, I know probably it's going to be the minority of people out there who want to build big muscles. It's probably more about being lean and strong, but it's the foundation for anything you want to do. And
right.
I'm a big
Without
Pilates
hurting
fan.
yourself.
Yes, exactly. And if you hurt yourself, you put yourself out longer. Now,
yeah.
What is your opinion on yoga? How do you see that as a way to help with alignment? Are you more of a Pilates fan?
I'm a huge Pilates fan because most of the Pilates that I've done has been super technical. I'm Kane School trained, for those of you guys who are like,
yeah.
What school are you in? Like Kane School trained, I used to teach for Kelly and all those good things.
Wow, yeah.
But words, yeah. It's like, so that's like the creme de la nerd.
Right.
Boy, are we nerds.
But
anyway,
me too.
This is why I teach anatomy, because we're all about the anatomy.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's, like with yoga, there's such a wide range, because one, yoga's been around longer, it's had more of a chance to branch, and there are a whole bunch of different things. I dearly love Iyengar yoga.
Yes.
Because again, they're super precise, they're about alignment, and it's really about organizing the body. And that works for me. Like I said, I have shoulder stuff, hip stuff, back stuff. I'm avoiding knee stuff because I know how to align myself, and I'm really glad I waited until I knew all this stuff.
Yeah.
To start complaining. No, I got you. Look it up, me. So there are a ton of. I have a very experienced body, shall we say?
I like that term. Mine is experienced as well.
Yeah, extremely experienced. It has experienced a lot of things in its life.
Yes.
And therefore, I have to be super careful, and I want experienced people teaching me.
Right. Exactly.
So like I said, my favorite so far has been Iyengar, because they're really clear. They're very careful.
Right.
Nobody like pull you. I really hate that pulling your hips backwards in down dog.
Yes. It's
great if you're a 25-year-old gymnast.
Yeah.
For the rest of us, one, it's actually kind of sketchy. Like, I'm going to pull your hips towards my hips. I'm like,
yeah.
Real clear on your boundaries, people. But the other thing is that, I and a lot of the other rehab professionals I hang out with, we see something called yoga butt.
Oh, tell me more.
One, it's just fun to say.
Two, it's fun to say, yoga butt.
When you overstretch your hamstrings, you start to get micro tears at the hamstring attachment at your sits bones.
What?
So when somebody's pulling your pelvis backwards and they're overstretching your hamstrings, and since most of us, again, we have the chest lift, which means the hamstrings are already naturally long.
Right.
This is why most of y'all can't stretch your hamstrings as much as you want, because they're already stretched.
Oh.
But that's a different conversation.
Yeah, that's intriguing too.
I see. This is my problem, that I can fire hose so much information that people are like, that's amazing. What the hell were we just talking about? So I try to calm it down. So, so like I said, people overstretch their hamstrings, and when you overstretch a muscle, after a while, the length you've gotten as far as you can get.
Yeah.
There we go. Actually, this is kind of perfect, because here's the muscle. I stretch it long enough, and as you can see, has happened to this one, things start tearing.
Yeah.
And hopefully your muscle does not do what my band did.
No, we don't want that.
Just like little micro tears, which ends up with tendinitis, tendinopathy. Now tendinopathy is more the term, because it's not always an inflammation. Sometimes it's micro tears.
Oh.
But it's just pain and irritation in the tendon.
Yeah.
Which, you get, so now you got a pain in your butt from yoga, so we call it yoga butt.
Yoga butt. I love it.
But it's like when it's a common enough injury that it gets named after the exercise, like, y'all got to be careful out there.
Right.
Good alignment, organizing the rib cage over the pelvis instead of.
And yoga is supposed to be about taking that time to listen to your body and align. So, just like we get really excited to start lifting heavy weights and lose our alignment in our squats and our lunges, same thing with yoga. So the theme here is listen to your body, pay attention, and make those little changes so that you can stay in alignment and you can work out until you're on your deathbed, hopefully at 100.
Right? Because yes, we all want to be on the yoga calendar. We love the Instagram yoga girls. Yeah. We love the Instagram yoga boy shots too. Just saying.
Yeah, those are good too.
we like all of them. Yes, we do. Yes. But at the same time, depending on what your body is capable of, then you do need to listen to your body. Yeah. You do need to move through it. And again, I'm dating myself here, but we're not all Madonna, like powering through that yoga.
Exactly.
Power speed yoga. she still trains insanely hard, and she was not doing that like, I think I'll take up yoga. Let me take up power yoga.
Right. She didn't start there. She
No,
started
she
at
did not
hatha.
start there. She's been working. She's been working with professionals.
Right.
She gets the advice and she does what she can. She just happens to keep herself at like this level
Yeah.
of that.
I mean, she can make that her full-time job.
It is her full-time job.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the rest of us who don't have, being a pop star as our full-time job, if you do, full marks.
Sadly. That would be cool.
But for the rest of us, like, we need to slow down, and it can be really hard because sometimes you will be in class and, the teachers, and you hear the teacher like, stretch farther, reach more.
Yeah.
And your body's already doing it, even though you're like, wait, do I need to do that? Hold on.
Yeah. A lot of mental stuff happens during a yoga pose.
Oh my God. See, I train Kung Fu sometimes when my spine allows me. And what a lot of people have a very hunched, like they hunch when they do their kicks. So Sherpa was always saying, lift your chest. And I'm like, no, but he's not talking to me. He's not talking to me. He's not talking to me. It's really hard to keep that, to maintain who you are and where you are.
Yeah.
When all this stuff is going on around you. And can I just say, somatics, it's not a metaphor. How hard is it in the rest of your life to maintain who you are and where you are with all the craziness that's going on around you?
I mean, it is hard.
Yeah.
And even that, inside you and your physical being connecting to that mental being, I think that is a major theme we're seeing in this summit, that you have to go internally and then place yourself within your environment. But, you need to have that sense of body as well.
Mm-hmm. And this is the other beautiful thing about bringing your hand to your chest and releasing down, is that right here, when you touch your chest right here, this is where your thymus gland lives.
Oh.
And your thymus gland, it's huge when you're a kid because you're developing an immune system.
Yeah.
And it gets smaller as you're an adult because you don't need to develop it. It's doing pretty well.
Right. Yeah.
But you may have heard of the term T cells in your immune system.
Yeah.
That's T for thymus.
Oh.
So what happens? Literally, the thymus is where your immune cells go to learn what is you and what isn't you.
Oh.
So when you put your hand here, you release down, you center. If you can do this not just with an awareness of, I'm going to release my chest, it's, this is me.
Yeah.
This is what is me, this is what isn't me. Because if your immune system doesn't know what is you and what isn't you, you're going to have some problems.
Yes, you are.
You're going to be like, oh, hello, Mr. Germ, come on in, let's have a party. Or, God, no, everything is a problem, attack everything. Yeah. So you're going to get really sick, or you're going to have autoimmune issues.
Right.
So know what is you and what isn't you, your immune system can function properly. So sometimes remind yourself, this is me. Release my chest. Back to center. Find your diaphragm. Center line.
That is the perfect summation of everything here. And I thank you for all of this information, these ways that we can come into ourselves and get rid of that pain just by some simple things. And just thank you for being with us.
It is my pleasure. Thanks for talking with me. I've had a great time today.
Me too. I always love talking to you.
Likewise.
Well, all right. Thank you.